today's lecture, we are going to look at the construction industry transformation map and integrated digital delivery. I will be talking about the Industry 4.0 and also introduce you to some of the digital trends that are driving the building environment sector. We will look at the construction industry transformation map and also the concept of integrated digital delivery, or IDD as BCA is calling it, and BCA would like to promote that and push it through into the industry. There are altogether 4 stages of IDD. We'll discuss that, okay, and there are IDD tools available to help the industry to use them. And we will also talk about digitization in the construction industry and some major projects that are in the pipeline. Many tools for the AEC. AEC refers to architect, engineering and consulting industry or construction, have not seen dramatic changes for many years. CAD-based drafting is a little more than computerized drafting table with a workflow designed to generate 2D paper drawings as the final product. VDC tools have a fundamentally different goal when compared to CAD and drafting tools, and we will be spending quite a bit of time talking about VDC tools. If we compare the construction industry to the manufacturing industry, in this case in Japan, right, you can see that the trend since the 80s is such that the construction industry is not really that productive, whereas the manufacturing industry in Japan over the past 40 years has slowly ramped up the production. Also, the productivity is much higher. Okay, so what it means is that even in Singapore, the trend holds true, and we are trying to see how we can get the construction industry to be more productive. Towards this end, the government has pumped in quite a lot of money to try to help the industry. So we can see here, okay, that there was a newspaper report, okay, that was based on the budget in 2015, that the 450 million more, okay, dollars will be set aside to raise the construction productivities. And there are new rules, okay, that is going to be put in place to boost the construction productivity, which I'll be talking about throughout the next few series of lectures. We are moving into Industry 4.0, and you can see on the slide here that we have started with the Industry 1.0, which is talking about the use of mechanization, having this steam power, water power to drive the equipments, to Industry 2.0, where we start to focus on mass production, assembly line, and there is a widespread use of electricity, to Industry 3.0, where we are talking about computer usage and automation, and finally we are coming to Industry 4.0 now, where we try to integrate cyber this system with our physical systems. And there are a few key challenges for Industry 4.0 for the construction sector. Firstly, there is a need for large scale and rapid investment. And in the construction industry, there may not be impetus for the contractors or the consultants or the design firms to pump in a lot of money, because they may not be able to see what the futures hold in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. In addition, there is generally a lack of culture of collaboration between the different trades. On top of that, when we are dealing with data, especially nowadays where there are a lot of possible scams and this phishing, there will always be data and cyber security concerns. Okay, so the companies really have a clear and strategic plan, okay, of what they want to do, because things are very fluid and very dynamic. Okay, and on top of it, there is always a skill shortage and there is a resistance to outsourcing. This chart here shows you the Industry 1.0 going all the way to Industry 4.0 with respect to the timeline. You can see that it all started around the end of 1700s. Yeah, so the first industrial revolution, okay, or that actually started based on the introduction of mechanical production equipment driven by steam power as well as water power. And you have the first mechanical loom that was produced right back in 1784. Yeah, and then slightly around 100 years later, yeah, we then went into the second industrial revolution. We call it Industry 2.0, where we start to have mass production, okay, achieved by division of the labor, okay, and the use of electrical energy. And you have the first conveyor belt that was built, okay, for this slaughterhouse in Cincinnati, America, in 1870. And then after that, we went into the third industrial revolution, also around 100 years later, where we start to use electronics and IT to further automate our industrial processes. And that all started with the first programmable logic controller, or we call it the PLC, okay, that was developed in 1969. And now we are into the fourth industrial revolution, where we are trying to rely on a combination of cyber and physical systems to help to further improve our productivity and to drive our production. So in terms of the degree of complexity, the first industrial revolution, okay, to the second, to the third, to the fourth, the degree of complexity will actually rises. So in the fourth industrial revolution, or Industry 4.0, especially for the construction industry, what we envisage is that there will be a combination of on-site physical work, which is aided by the technology or technological tools, together with off-site physical work, which is also aided by technology. But on top of that, there will be a need to manage data. There will be a lot of data that we can actually collect, and then we will need to think about data gathering, data storage and analysis, and how do we control and service. So that's why we need to go into digitized design and engineering, okay, digitized procurement and management. And we have to come up with a way to make this cyber side of things, the data, work with the physical side of things, so that we can have a smart building, smart cities. So you can see here from the chart that over the years, where we move from the second industrial revolution to the third industrial revolution to the fourth industrial revolution, the construction sector is typically lagging behind. Yeah. So initially, when we go into the mechanization, okay, it's only after a fair bit of time then the construction industry start to make use of the technology, okay, and we started to go into modularization. And then after that, we started to go and use, for example, building information modeling, or the BIM system, computational design. And finally, when we are going into the Industry 4.0, or the fourth industrial revolution, for the construction industry, the emphasis will be on digital fabrication, where there is a lot of human and robot collaboration, which is quite similar to what we were saying just now when we talk about cyber physical system. How do we combine them together? So specifically for Industry 4.0 in the construction sector, we will be looking at the prefabrication and modular construction. Yeah, there will be quite a fair bit of advanced building materials that is going to come on stream. We could also be relying on 3D printing, or sometimes we call it additive manufacturing, for some components in our these buildings. Yeah, we will be making use of autonomous equipments to aid our construction. Yeah, and we can also use augmented reality, yeah, and visualization also to aid the design and the construction. There will be a lot of data that we can gather, so we are going to use big data and predictive analytics in our day-to-day work. There will also be wireless monitoring, okay, and connecting all the different equipments. Yeah, so we will be storing the data in cloud so that it can be retrieved in real time by different parties at different locations. Okay, there will also be technology that allow us to do 3D scanning and photogrammetry. Yeah, and all these things are all supported by the building information modeling. So throughout this series of lectures in this module, we'll be going through, okay, all these different types of tools, okay, to explain to you how it helps the construction sector. The construction industry transformation map is a collective effort by the industry, the various institutes of higher learning, the union, and the government. And the vision is to make use of the transformation map such that we can advance and integrate the different sectors within the construction industry so that we can have progressive and collaborative companies and we can have good jobs for the Singaporeans. And the transformation map take into account the global trends that are shaping our sector. There are three major global trends, which are the digital revolutions, rapid urbanizations around the various countries, as well as climate change. So, as a result of these three global trends, it calls for a strong demand for green building expertise. It requires the need for advanced technologies to build faster and better. And it requires the advance of smart building, new construction technologies, and digitized work processes. The three key areas of transformation that we want to effect in the construction industry is to get the industry to carry out design for manufacturing and assembly. In short, we call it DFMA. We want to design upfront for ease of manufacturing and assembly so that we can have highly automated off-site production facilities and efficient and clean on-site installation processes. We want to go for green building, and we therefore need to know how to design green buildings, and we want to have sustainable practices that are put in place in operation and maintenance. And we also want to go for digital delivery or integrated digital delivery. That is to enable the industry to be able to enjoy the benefits of building information modeling, because the IDD can fully integrate the processes and the stakeholders along the value chain through advanced info communication technology and smart technologies. So in short, we want to build green, build smart, and build efficiently. So in order to transform the built environment sector, we will need to increase the adoption of DFMA and IDD. We will also need to build strong and capable companies, and we will need to support the workforce needs and aspirations.